Today, we work on wind power, continuing to automate our basic resources, and of course, making things pretty, cute, and pretty cute. This is Create Cabin. As we automate more and more, we need to move past random water wheels placed everywhere and centralize our power production going into the future. With our new sheep pens, and therefore lots of wool, we have access to the most aesthetic option. The windmill bearing is a power generating block that detects how many wool or sail blocks are attached to it and generates power accordingly, up to a max of 128 blocks per windmill. A fully maxed out windmill generates just over 8,000 SU, or stress units, which is a measurement of rotational power in the Create mod, similar to torque. If we use more stress units than we make, everything breaks. So more SU means more machines, and the ability to run machines at faster speeds. So we want a lot of it. The best feature of windmills is they don't need any resource input, they generate all their power for free. Talk about a good deal. Now, we could just make it a big cube of wool. That's lame. I made one windmill for the front of the house, and I made another windmill just next to the cherry farm. I built these in creative mode and used a create mod feature called Schematics to copy them into the survival world. Schematics can make a copy of a selected area so that they can be copy-pasted. In survival mode, you can't just paste them for free though. You need to build something called the Schematic Cannon or Schematic Cannon. You feed it all the blocks it needs to build the project. Using a create clipboard, it tells you exactly what it wants. And gunpowder. With both, it'll blast your build into the universe. I try not to use this feature excessively. I like building in survival mode, but for certain things, building without flight is just a huge pain, particularly building anything floating, so you'll probably see me using this feature anytime I want to build a bridge or a largely vertical build. Way down the line, there is a way to fly in survival in this pack, but it will be a long time before we get to that. With power made, I needed a way to distribute the power to where it needs to go. Enter the chain conveyor, new to Create's latest update, where before you needed to place massive shafts, crisscrossing your base. Now you just slap these bad boys down, power them from the bottom or top, and use chains to connect them. They don't need to be in straight lines or even at the same elevation, making them super flexible and easy to use. And with a wrench, you can even ride them. Here, I stuck it on the front of the house, and these are actually little devices so we can see how much power that we're actually using. So 2 of them are generating 8,000-ish each, so 16,000 in total. We're using, like, I don't know, less than 1,000, 5%, and it also tells us what speed it's spinning at. How fun. With all this power set up, it's time to return to our main goal, automating the ingredients needed to finish Chapter 1. Last episode, we made a mine shaft down to bedrock, and now that's drained of water, it's time to build. First, I diffused nearby skulk sensors so the warden wouldn't go crashing the party. The tricky part about generating andesite in this mod pack is needing bedrock below where the block is generated. Normally, you could put a hopper or a chute there to easily extract the export, but extracting from the side is a little bit harder. That is, without knowing this simple trick. baskets from Farmer's Delight. It's an often overlooked block because it's from a farming mod, but this basket actually suctions items into it just like a hopper does. But most importantly, they can be placed sideways. With them, we can scoop up any of the generated blocks easily. Hooking them up to conveyor belts, I led the exports over to the elevator for loading. This process generates andesite, diorite, and granite, which is honestly a good thing because it gives us more options to build with. Eventually, we'll need to sort these apart, but for now, just bringing them up to the surface is all we need. I had it load up into the elevator and get whisked up and away. By hooking the pulley elevator to the new chain drive system in the windmills, I could make it go literally 32 times faster than it had been going before, from 2 speed to 64 speed. And that's the last of the most basic ingredients we need, semi-automated. Hooray! Now we just need to start putting these puzzle pieces together. So, I broke ground on a new building. I'm tentatively calling this place the Chapter 1 Workshop, as it's where a bunch of things will come together. I was having trouble deciding on the aesthetic because I still wanted to keep it a relatively cozy, low-tech look, while still reading as a place where processing happens. So I used granite walls and diorite floors using the new stones from the mine. A rooftop of dirt will give us a place to automate things like wheat in the future too, with a rooftop garden. Inside, the first machine I built was a machine that bulk washes gravel. By having a fan that blows through water, it blows watery particles over the gravel, which turns it into flint and iron. A couple different things can be washed, turning one thing into another thing. Now we have infinite iron, since we have infinite gravel, which turns into iron. Also infinite flint, but that doesn't have as much of a use, but it is another good building block. It is also a spot where I can slot in sand, which will wash down into clay. The second machine is a machine to make andesite alloy. Compared to making it by hand, like I've been doing prior, this process is 4 times as efficient in terms of resources, plus I don't have to do it by hand. It uses this mixer to mix together kelp and clay, which makes algal blend. This is then bulk smelted, which is a fan behind lava instead of water to smelt it down into an algal brick. This is then finally mixed with the andesite from the mine to make andesite alloy. Note that this is a specific recipe to this mod pack and is not the normal alloy recipe. This machine is complete and what I would call semi-automated, as I still need to bring the inputs from the other factories over the old-fashioned way, lugging it on foot, but once it gets here, all the processing happens by itself. Complex logistical routing is later on in the tech tree, but I'm working on a fun idea around that. What if we used minecarts instead? As a test, I built a small track that connected the new Chapter 1 workshop to the cobble and gravel farm. A cute little minecart can putter along and deliver the items from the mine to the washing machine. It worked amazingly, so amazingly in fact, I decided to implement a similar solution with the kelp. Before the minecart track could get placed though, it needed some landscaping. We're not just putting tracks on a dirt hill. I went with a classic stone brick staircase with some gravel bricks supporting walls. Our first bridge though needed to be classy, so using the same Schematic Cannon trick as the windmills, I built this bridge in creative mode first. And then blasted it into the survival world. I think I cooked, and this is pretty. I did just want to shout out another tool as well, the trowel. It's a useful little item that's a great hack to having prettier builds. What it will do is when you right-click with it, it places a block randomly from your hotbar. This can help you add a lot of pretty random variation to your builds with little extra effort, which goes a long way in breaking up a structure and adding some visual interest. Then, on this new bridge and stairwell, I added a minecart track. Just like the minecart that delivers gravel, this one delivers kelp all the way up the hill. I'm cooking plans for how to connect all these builds together with a minecart network, but that will have to wait for a future episode. For now, thank you all for watching. I stream building this world on Twitch, so consider following me there, and also join the Discord if you want updates. For now though, smell you later.